Yeah, another eventful day then in the Premier League. In the early kick-off, Chelsea were 2-1 winners at Leicester. It was a 2-2 draw between Aston Villa and Crystal Palace as the hosts at Villa Park fought back twice then to earn a point. Brighton won 2-1 at Bournemouth despite having to play the last half hour with 10 men. Wolves, one of the big winners of the day, beat Fulham 4-1 at Craven Cottage. Arsenal got back to winning ways as they beat Nottingham Forest 3-0. It was goalless between Everton and Brentford, with the visitors to Goodison Park having to play that game with 10 men in the second half after Christian Norgard was sent off late on in the first. But it was the Spurs' dismantling of Manchester City in a 4-0 win at the Etihad to succumb Pep Guardiola's side to a fifth successive defeat, perhaps, which was one of the most surprising and interesting results of yesterday. It means that they could go, this is in terms of City, could go 8 points behind Liverpool today if they beat Southampton at St Mary's this afternoon. Coming into this game, here's a good omen for Liverpool fans, perhaps. In the past 6 years, the team leading after 11 games has gone on to become champion 3 times. Ahead of this one, Arne Slot stressed the importance of squad rotation ahead of their busy winter schedule.
The players coming back from South America, how fit are they? The injuries that we have, the players are coming back. So that is the only thing that has something to do with the team selection. Not at all the games that come afterwards.
Okay, because they do have, after today, Cass, a really fascinating week. Real Madrid at home in the Champions League, followed by another game at Anfield, and it's a certain Manchester City who are the visitors. So that's why that question may well have been posed about rotation and how Arne Slot is going to prepare for the week to come. But are you right now sitting there rubbing your hands thinking this is it, nearly, not job done, but it's a good old chance that Liverpool could win a second Premier League title, the way things are going?
I'm just delighted that Liverpool have got a really good side.
Yeah.
The fact that it's kicked on from last season, which is the big surprise. I mean, we're so early on, and we're, after today, we're nearly a third through the season in the Premier League. But you can also associate where they are in the Champions League, sitting at the top. So
yeah, it's all good.
So I don't think any Liverpool fan envisaged this sort of start. I didn't. I don't think anyone, hand on heart, there might be the odd one who actually said, you know what, we might fly. I never felt concerned about goals. I said that at the start of the season. I think goals is not going to be an issue for Liverpool. I was very concerned about the midfield. I thought the introduction of Gavin Beck at centre midfield or holding role has worked brilliantly. With that, players who weren't playing as well last year, I put Salah in there and I put Van Dijk in there, have certainly got back to much closer to their best levels. So things have been very positive, and I think the goalkeeper's been brilliant, Kelleher. I think when he's been called upon, he's absolutely played like a number one, and he should be for someone. Like I said before, I still wouldn't rule out Liverpool being his number one long term because he's been that good. So there's lots of good things. I think the manager is just playing low key on everything. He knows,
but he's been doing that all along, hasn't he?
He's just low key on everything.
Yeah. Well, look, let's bring another Liverpool fan perspective into this one to look ahead to this game at St Mary's. It's a good morning to Liverpool.com editor Matt Addison. Matt, good morning. How you doing?
Yeah, very well, thank you. Very much enjoyed yesterday's results, and it feels like a potentially very, very big weekend, I think, for Liverpool. There's a little bit of pressure on them to do the job today, but if they do that, I think it's going to be hard to stop anybody getting excited at that point.
I think we should pick up on what Cass said there as well, Matt, earlier on about the expectations that were put on Liverpool at the start of this season, especially with a new manager coming in. I mean, what were you expecting from Arne Slot?
I always thought that Liverpool would probably be the third best team in the country. I think there was a lot of people that thought maybe there'd be a decline, or maybe without Jurgen Klopp they wouldn't quite be at the same level, and maybe Manchester United or an Aston Villa or Tottenham could overtake them. I think that was always unlikely. But at the same time, I didn't expect them to be as consistent as what they've been. 15 wins from 17. It's the best start from any Liverpool manager ever. It's the consistency and the way that they've just kind of got onto that role, I think is so impressive. I didn't expect them to go on and win the league, and I think, to be fair, for them to do that this season, it would have taken Liverpool to improve, but also Manchester City and Arsenal to drop off a little bit as well. So for all of those things to happen, I did think was unlikely. But you'd have to say at this point, almost a third of the way through the season, that there is a real opportunity for Liverpool if they can go, as many points clear today as they can with a win. I think it's hard to make any other argument, I think, at this point, even though I'm sure, Liverpool's players and Arne Slot will probably try and play it down a little bit.
Matt, you recently visited Rotterdam, visited your old club, Slot's old club, Feyenoord. And what have their fans been? Are they surprised by how well it's gone for Arne Slot?
I wouldn't say that they were surprised particularly. I think, everybody's surprised to a certain degree, but it was really interesting. I think everybody basically said the same thing to me about how much, they were pleased to see him doing so well. They knew that he would be able to go there and imprint his personality on Liverpool. I think that was a big thing, really, when you lose someone like Jurgen Klopp, to have somebody who can take on the kind of role in the way that Arne Slot has. He's a different kind of character, but you've got to be a big character, I think, to be at a club like Liverpool and to take a group of players like that forward again. He's improved the individuals. He's made Liverpool generally as a team a lot more of a title looking team in terms of being better defensively, being more in control of those games. I think the Feyenoord fans maybe sort of basically said kind of a "I told you so" type thing. I think a lot of Liverpool fans hadn't heard a great deal about Arne Slot when he came in. But yeah, it's been a fantastic start. I would say that they were surprised to a certain degree of quite how well it was going, but maybe less surprised than the rest of us, given that they knew him a lot better than anybody else did this summer.
But it's quite strange, Matt, because when he took over at Feyenoord, there were transfers and, players had left the football club, so he had to bring new ones in. But to come to a new club, it's very rare to see a manager do or not be involved in very much. Actually bringing anybody. Normally, every manager goes to a player they know from previous clubs they work with, or just bring it. And he hasn't done any of that.
No, and I think that's a testament really to what Liverpool have got behind the scenes and the structure. That was, one of the key things, the big difference really between, Manchester United losing Alex Ferguson and Liverpool losing Jurgen Klopp is that it wasn't, a complete change. They've, mentioned continually all of the time really about, the wider structure, the wider things that they've got behind the scenes. Michael Edwards coming back, the way that that they've managed to manage that transition, I think has been really, really useful. And there were transfer links. I don't know how serious it was with Matt Weaver that went to Brighton, but he's a good player. But would it have been the case that somebody from Feyenoord, who was one of their best players, coming to Liverpool, would that have made a difference? Well, possibly it would have made a difference to a certain extent, but I'm pretty sure he wouldn't have been at the same level as Ryan Gravenberch. So I think it was, a sensible decision really from Liverpool, from Arne Slot. There was clearly an agreement there that they wanted to take a proper look at this squad, assess them, make sure that, the players that Arne Slot had, he was able to maybe improve one or two of those. He's certainly done that with, Gravenberch, as I mentioned, Luis Diaz, Cody Gakpo, Ibrahim Konate. That's not transfers, that's coaching. It's, installing the confidence. It's making sure that they know exactly how to play. I think that there's no doubt about it that Arne Slot has made a number of these Liverpool players better. If they can maybe add one more in January or maybe one or two in the summer, that can be, even more exciting. But I think, for Arne Slot, as you say, to have not really signed anybody in the summer, but still made these improvements, I think that just speaks volumes really about the quality of coach that he is, the way that he's come into this project and really bought into the way that Liverpool want to do things as well.
Matt, it's been really nice chatting to you. Thank you for being with us this morning.
Absolute pleasure. Thank you very much, guys.
Cheers, Matt.
talkSPORT Breakfast, waking you up Monday to Friday morning from 6 a.m. on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.